everyone. I'd like to acknowledge Whadjuk country that we're speaking on today. I'm Andrew Dowding. I'm a Ngarluma traditional owner from the northwest in the Pilbara region. And with me is Tim today, and we're going to talk about the Indigenous mapping workshop and our work that we've been doing over the last few years. We are an Indigenous mapping company based here in Perth. We're very mission driven. We want more Indigenous people in the geospatial industry and in the broader ICT sector. And so, as you would all be very aware, that we don't have a lot of Indigenous people in this sector at all. And so it's really our mission at Winyama to really drive impact in that place. And we do that through a number of initiatives, and I want to talk about those today. So we have multiple initiatives that we run. The first one is internships for Indigenous people who are keen to work in geospatial and cloud as well, so wider in ICT. So above me you can see a range of our interns that we've brought through, and some of them have been non-tech related industries. One of our guys came from WAPA to come and join us. And so we create like an internship of about 3 months to kind of drive, of training to drive, capability build inside these guys. And then, over time, we kind of slowly introduce, basic geospatial work, so that we can, we can put them on jobs and get them learning on the job as well. So we've had, these sets of guys come through. We've had a couple go through and move on to other jobs. One guy went back over to Amazon, that's Jaden. Another one, Amos and Holly, have both returned to different places, to different workplaces after the internship. But yeah, we're sort of really happy to see more Indigenous people in this sector, so we just sort of push them through an internship and drive them out into other workplaces. The wider impact that we've had is through some of our larger initiatives, which is the Indigenous mapping workshop, and we've worked with the founder over in Canada who's brought the Indigenous mapping workshop to different places in the world. One of them's New Zealand and the other one's here. So what we do is run training for Indigenous organisations like native title organisations, Indigenous ranger groups, arts and language centres or cultural centres as well, and we do a bit of interaction with sort of government entities that have something to do with Indigenous content. But yeah, over the past 5 years, we've run Indigenous mapping workshop around the country, and you can see all the different places that we've had learners from over the years. We also run regional Indigenous mapping workshops. So this is where our guys travel out to different regional communities. Over the past few years, we've run in Broome and South Australia, over in Brizzy, up in Darwin, but then out to Townsville, Ballarat, and recently we went up to Barrapunta up in Arnhem Land. So that was a great test for our model of running Indigenous mapping workshops out in communities. So we've had multiple participants, 200 participants through our Indigenous regional mapping workshops. We're really concentrated on including this kind of female participation in our workshops. We really drive that hard when we talk to the organisations that we work with. So we've sort of got that on our radar as well. But yeah, we've had great success in the last few years in terms of female participation in our training as well. Obviously with COVID, we had to kind of think about a way to continue to deliver our training when we couldn't go out to communities. And so really early on, we decided to create a learning management system and pull all our training material up into an online learning platform. And we call it IMW On Demand, and it just runs sort of autonomously in a way. We upload all our content, and you can see the kind of course content we've got up there. We teach Deadly Data, which is our kind of good data practice stream, and then we do a Google stream, a QGIS stream, and then an ArcGIS Pro stream. So I have a range of different softwares that we teach, and people can select those according to the types of software that they have for their organisations. So yeah, I'll hand over to Tim just to talk a little bit about the on-demand system. He's been the architect of it, so So here you go, Tim.
Thank you. Yeah, so hello everybody. So my name's Tim. I'm a consultant, developer and architect with Winyama. And as Andrew kind of alluded to, all of these regional workshops and workshops that we do are really, really great. But like lots of people probably in this room, with the advent of COVID in 2020, we had to adapt, we had to innovate and come up with something different. So that's kind of where IMW On Demand was born. And it just so happens that I joined Winyama in 2020, so it was my core kind of focus when I first started working with Andrew. So to talk more about IMW On Demand and what it does, here's just a quick list of some key features. So I was really inspired at the time. I was doing a fair bit of my own personal training, learning about the cloud, learning a bit about geospatial, and I'm sure lots of you people have probably been on that journey as well, where you go to these online course places like, what's some good examples, Coursera, Pluralsight, and you do that on-demand interactive training, and I thought that was a really, really great, powerful tool, and it'll be quite easy to adapt lots of the things that we were training at our workshops into that model. So here's just a couple behind the scenes of what people get in our platform. So there's a range of courses that we offer that people can enroll in on demand. There's module breakdowns, so people can easily click and flick between units. It's all broken down into little bite-sized chunks. There's knowledge checks, little quick assessments to make sure that people are paying attention and getting through the course content. With our videos, we transcribe them all by hand. YouTube gives us a bit of a boost initially, but then we go through and patch up the mistakes, as is what happens with our strong Australian accents. And we also have live chat support as well. There's a little widget in the bottom right-hand corner. If people get stuck, they can message us and we'll reply straight away. And then at the bottom, I've got labs. Now, labs is always a tough one because it's quite hard to convey exactly what a lab does with words. So I do have a little quick demo on the next slide. So the way people launch a lab is it's just a click. This will launch in a new tab, and it will basically give them a virtual machine with the software ready to go and boot it up for them. It's a bit of an older version of QGIS because I took this recording a while ago, but it's just a way for us to kind of bridge the accessibility to software, which is a real challenge we've had with our workshops. So Andrew gave me the learning pretty early on that at the IMW workshops we were running, people would rock up and they would have laptops with restrictions for downloading and installing software. Sometimes these installers, especially for QGIS, can be quite large, so downloading that over bandwidth at the event to then install and then start participating in training could be quite a challenge. So this is just a quick way for us to sidestep that and just deliver the software to them over the browser. And we use this quite a bit in our in-person training as well. We'll actually have virtual labs that we already have spun up and people just log on to those to use if they don't have their own personal laptop, which is still the preference. So just some quick insight into the course content that we offer with IMW On Demand. So we of course offer QGIS training. It's probably the most accessible software because it's free. Lots of our target people that we deliver our training to are already using QGIS and they want to know more about it, so that's always very popular training. And a quick shout out, John Bryant actually contributed and helped a lot with that content. And I still think it's our best course content on the platform, so thank you, John. Which Andrew's not going to like because he did the Google Earth stuff. So just as well, recently we've introduced a couple new courses. The top one, Introduction to Drones, yeah, see that's a bit unfair to Grady as well, because that's a really, really good course. It's not just about the practical flying of drones, it's more about how do you go about sourcing a drone, what specs are important when you're considering a drone for use, what do you use it for in work, how do you maintain your drone, quick repairs. It also covers all the legal requirements and stuff for flying drones, the restrictions. It goes really in-depth on all of those topics. So that's a really, really awesome course we've got up there for our guys. And recently as well, we used to have an Open Data Kit course, but unfortunately they got rid of some really awesome features and integration with Google Drive. That was really, really good. So we did look for another easy platform, and Kobo Toolbox fit the bill pretty well. So we also have a course available on that for our learners to jump to. And if you, Open Data Kit is open source, so just a win-win. And I'll throw back to Andrew to talk about our micro-credential.
We really developed the on-demand system for, to kind of pivot during COVID. But as we've gone down the kind of online learning path, we've realised it's actually really a valuable kind of hybrid method for us to, to continue to do in-person workshops, but also have an online platform to lean back when people can't come to workshops or they're not able to find funding to get down to where we're running workshops. So yeah, as we sort of began that journey, we realised we had something quite valuable, and we began talking to, thinking about the courses that Tim was talking about, the online courses like Coursera, and that we were thinking about how we could get our learning management system and our courses credentialed, and we just we'd started some relationships with different universities, but it was actually Curtin University who picked this up with us, and yeah, they were, Curtin and Ivanka and her team were beginning to build micro-creds for Indigenous land and sea managers, so for the Ranger network, and so we just came in at the exact right time for a micro-cred for built by an external partner that we could credential through the university. So we signed that partnership early this year, and then we had a first run through the end of our Indigenous mapping workshop at getting some of our learners credentialed. So it was a really nice pilot for us to begin understanding how we credential our content against kind of AQF standards, and getting Indigenous rangers and the Indigenous mapping workshop attendees to think about university qualifications as a kind of pathway for them, rather than just entering the vet sector or just doing a kind of set of training and getting a certificate. It was a really exciting moment for us to launch the credentials at the workshop, and then have guys begin. And I'll just show you, just to give Curtin some props around the courses that they're building out for Indigenous land and sea managers. So we're up in the external build, the purple one up the side here. So we've built the first unit for GIS mapping skills for Indigenous land management. Very exciting partnership for us, and we're really keen to continue building out our course content and continue driving a pathway for Indigenous people to enter a kind of micro-cred space and a university credentialed set of training. So that's it from us, really. I just wanted to share our experiences and our work that we've been doing, and we're always looking for partnerships and people to work with. So thanks very much.